She threw out all my steaks and said, "This is a vegan household now." I just nodded. The next day, I hosted a full meat barbecue for our parents. She didn't say a word as the smoke rolled in. I, 28, male, came home from work Tuesday to find my girlfriend, Melody, 26, standing in our kitchen with this triumphant look on her face. Behind her, our trash can was overflowing with white butcher paper and plastic wrap. The smell hit me immediately, raw meat. "What happened?" I asked, already knowing but needing to hear it. "I've made a decision," she announced, hands on her hips. "This is a vegan household now." I threw out all the meat, every last bit. I just stood there processing. We'd been together 3 years, living together for 1. She'd been vegetarian when we met, which was fine. I respected it, made sure we had separate pans, always cooked her meals first to avoid cross-contamination. But vegan? And throwing out my food? "That was about $300 worth of meat," I said quietly. I'd just done a Costco run on Sunday, premium steaks for a work dinner I was planning, chicken breasts, ground beef, bacon, all of it. "Money spent on murder," she said, lifting her chin. "I watched this documentary last night and I can't be complicit anymore. I can't live with death in my refrigerator." Here's the thing, it wasn't even her refrigerator. The house was mine, inherited from my grandmother 2 years ago. Melody moved in 8 months ago and pays me $400 a month, way below market rate. I'd offered it as a favor since she was struggling with student loans. I could have argued, could have pointed out she had no right, could have reminded her whose house it was. Instead, I just nodded. "Okay," I said. She blinked, clearly expecting a fight. "Okay, yeah, okay." The relief on her face was almost comical. She launched into a speech about how proud she was of me, how she'd already bought a bunch of vegan groceries, how this was going to be so good for my health. I let her talk, nodded in the right places, even helped her put away the almond milk and tempeh. That night, she made us dinner, some quinoa Buddha bowl thing. It was actually pretty good. We ate in front of the TV like normal. She kept shooting me these happy little glances, probably amazed at how well I was taking it. Wednesday morning, I called my parents. "Hey, Mom. You and Dad free tomorrow night? Thinking of having a barbecue." "Oh, that sounds lovely. What's the occasion?" "Just felt like grilling. Maybe invite Uncle Tony and Aunt Beth, too, and tell Dad to bring his smoker. I'm thinking brisket." See, the thing Melody didn't know was that my family was supposed to come over next week for dinner. I'd been planning to cook for them. Now I just moved it up a few days and maybe expanded the menu a little. Thursday came. I took a half day off work, hit up the butcher shop on the way home. If she wanted to throw away $300 of meat, I'd buy $500 more, ribeyes, porterhouses, lamb chops, Italian sausages, baby back ribs. The butcher, who knew me by name at this point, raised an eyebrow at the haul. "Having a party?" "Something like that." I also stopped by the store for sides, coleslaw, potato salad, mac and cheese, all the non-vegan classics. Even grabbed a cheesecake for dessert. Got home around 2 p.m. Melody's car wasn't there. She worked as a graphic designer and usually didn't get home until 6 o'clock. Perfect. I fired up the grill, seasoned the steaks, got the ribs going in the oven. By 4 p.m., the whole backyard smelled like a steakhouse. That's when I heard her car pull up, early. She came through the back gate and just stopped, staring at the grill, at the cooler full of meat, at me in my Grill Master apron, a Father's Day gift from my dad. "What is this?" Her voice was deadly quiet. "Barbecue," I said, flipping a steak. "Parents are coming over. Want me to throw on a veggie burger for you?" "We talked about this. This is a vegan household now." "No," I corrected, still calm. "You talked. You made a unilateral decision about my house and my food. I just didn't argue." "But you said okay." "I did, and I am okay with you being vegan in my house that I let you live in for less than half of market rent, but I'm not vegan, and this is my house." She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. "This is about revenge. You're being petty." "Nope. This is about dinner. My family's coming over. I'm cooking. Up to you." My parents pulled up, my dad hauling his massive smoker, my mom carrying what was definitely her famous bacon-wrapped jalapeno poppers. Behind them, Uncle Tony's truck with more family. The smell of smoking meat was rolling across the yard like a fog. Melody stood there, fists clenched, watching my family pour into the backyard with coolers and covered dishes. Nobody had told them about her new dietary restrictions, so they brought all their usual stuff. Mom's cream cheese stuffed mushrooms wrapped in bacon, Aunt Beth's loaded baked potato salad, Uncle Tony's venison jerky. "Melody," Mom called out. "So good to see you. I brought those poppers you loved at Christmas." Melody's face went through about 6 different emotions before settling on a forced smile. "Thanks, but I'm actually vegan now." "Oh." Mom looked at the bacon-wrapped tray in her hands. "Since when?" "Since Tuesday." Dad, who was already investigating my meat selection, looked up. "Tuesday? As in 2 days ago?" "Yes." He shrugged and went back to admiring the ribeyes. "Good for you. More for us then." The next 3 hours were the longest barbecue of my life. Melody sat on the porch sipping water while the smoke from various meats wafted around her. She didn't say a word, not when Uncle Tony told his hunting stories, not when Dad explained his new dry rub technique in excruciating detail, not even when my cousin showed up with a whole roasted pig he'd been making for another event and had leftovers from. The family noticed the tension, but nobody said anything directly. They just kept offering her sides she could eat until she pointed out the coleslaw had mayo and the potato salad had bacon. After that, they stopped offering. Around 8 p.m., people started leaving, lots of backslapping and promises to do this again soon. Mom hugged me extra long and whispered, "Everything okay?" "It will be," I told her. After everyone left, I cleaned up in silence. Melody had disappeared inside. I found her in the bedroom packing a bag. "I'm going to stay with my sister," she announced. "Okay. That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say, Mel? You threw out $300 of my food. You made a decision about my house without discussing it with me. You expected me to just fall in line. I don't think there's much to say. You're trying to save animals, and that's admirable, but you can't force me to do it with you." She zipped up her bag. "This isn't over." It wasn't. Update 1. So, Melody has been at her sister's since Thursday night. I figured she'd cool off, we'd talk like adults, maybe find a compromise. I was wrong. Saturday morning, 7 a.m., I get a knock on my door, not the doorbell, aggressive knocking. I stumble to the door in my boxers and there's a locksmith van in my driveway. "You the homeowner?" the guy asks. "Yeah." Lady called, said she's locked out, needs the locks changed. Showed me proof of residence and everything. I look past him and see Melody sitting in her car watching. The locksmith is holding some papers. I recognize them as utility bills, the ones with her name on them because I'd let her put the internet and electric in her name to help build her credit. "Listen, man," I said. "I appreciate you coming out, but this is my house, just mine. She's a tenant who pays rent." She showed me mail with her name and this address. "She lives here, yeah, as a renter, but she can't authorize lock changes on a house she doesn't own. Want to see the deed? Property tax statements? They're all in my name only." The locksmith looked uncomfortable. He glanced back at Melody, then at me. "You know what? I'm going to need to see some ownership documents before I proceed." I showed him everything on my phone, county records, deed, tax statements, all showing sole ownership. He nodded, walked back to Melody's car. I couldn't hear the conversation, but I saw her gesturing wildly. The locksmith just kept shaking his head. Finally, he got in his van and left. Melody peeled out right after him. 20 minutes later, I'm getting ready for my run when my phone starts blowing up, text after text. "You're really going to be this petty? I have belongings in that house. I have rights as a tenant. You can't just lock me out. I've been paying rent." I responded once, "You left voluntarily. You still have a key. I haven't locked you out." Update 2. She threw out all my steaks and said, "This is a vegan household now." I just nodded. The next day, I hosted a full meat barbecue for our parents. She didn't say a word as the smoke rolled in. "I'm not coming back to a house full of meat smell. You need to air it out and deep clean everything and get rid of all the animal products. Then we can talk about me coming back." I didn't respond. Monday, I get home from work to find something interesting. All my cast iron pans are sitting on the front porch. The ones I've been seasoning for years, the ones that have never seen soap, just careful maintenance and layers of built-up seasoning. They were soaking in a bucket of soapy water, completely stripped, ruined. There was a note, "These were contaminated with years of animal fat. I'm helping you start fresh." She still had her key. She'd come in while I was at work, taken my pans, and destroyed them. Those pans were older than our relationship. One was my grandmother's. I called her immediately. "You came into my house and destroyed my property. I cleaned them. You should be thanking me. Do you know how disgusting it is that you've been cooking with rancid animal fat residue?" "Melody, that's called seasoning. It's how cast iron works. You've ruined them. They're better now. You can re-season them with coconut oil." I hung up. Then I did 2 things. 1, changed the locks myself. 2, started documenting everything. Tuesday, she showed up with her sister in a U-Haul. I met them at the door. "I need to get my things," she said. "Absolutely. I've already boxed up most of it. I'd spent Monday night packing her stuff carefully, properly, everything labeled, but your sister stays outside, and I'm supervising." "Excuse me? You entered my house without permission and destroyed my property. Your sister can help carry boxes from the door, but only you come in, and I'm watching the whole time." Her sister, Harmony, yes, really, their parents were those types, started to argue, but I held up my phone. "I'm recording this for both our protection. Melody, you can get your things, but given recent behavior, I need to protect my property." It took 2 hours. I helped carry boxes, kept things civil, but I watched every move. When she tried to go into the kitchen just to check, I blocked her path. "Your stuff's not in there." "I might have left something." "You didn't." When they finally left, I thought that would be it. Girl got her stuff, I got my space back, we could both move on. Nope. Wednesday night, I'm grilling some chicken for meal prep, because yes, I still eat meat, and no, I'm not sorry, when I get a call from an unknown number. "Is this the resident at my address?" "Who's asking?" "This is the city animal control. We received a complaint about animal neglect and possible hoarding at this address." "What the actual hell? I don't have any animals," I said. "Sir, we have a report of numerous animals being kept in unsanitary conditions." "I literally don't have pets, no dogs, no cats, nothing. Someone's pranking you." "We still need to investigate the complaint. Can we schedule a time to inspect?" So that's happening Friday. Melody apparently decided if she couldn't force me to go vegan, she'd try to get me in trouble for. I don't even know what she told them. But here's where it gets really weird. Thursday, yesterday, I'm at work when my neighbor texts me. She's retired, home all day, keeps an eye on things. Mrs. Chen, there's a woman in your backyard. Should I call the police? I checked my security cam app. Yeah, I installed them after the pan incident. Sure enough, there's Melody, and she's doing something to my grill. I leave work immediately, call the cops on the way. By the time I get there, she's gone, but my Weber is destroyed. She'd poured something that looked like concrete mix all into the grill. The thing was completely ruined, my $800 grill that I'd saved up for, that I bought myself as a celebration for getting promoted last year. The cops took a report. I showed them the security footage, clear as day, Melody climbing my fence, pouring stuff into my grill, taking photos of it, then leaving. You know this person? The officer asked. My ex-girlfriend. Recent breakup. Very recent. They said they'd follow up, get her side of the story. I'm not holding my breath, but at least there's a paper trail now. Last night, while I was researching grills to replace my murdered Weber, I got one more text from Melody. You can still fix this. Go vegan and I'll make everything right. I didn't respond, but I did order a new grill, a bigger one, and a smoker. And I signed up for a butchery class. Animal control comes tomorrow. I've already cleaned the house top to bottom, not that it was dirty, prepared documentation showing I have no pets, and asked Mrs. Chen to be available as a witness. I've also got a lawyer now because apparently I need one. I'm done trying to be the nice guy about this. Update 2. The animal control visit went exactly as you'd expect. Officer showed up, looked around for maybe 5 minutes, shook his head, and apologized for wasting my time. So, no animals at all? He asked, standing in my living room. Nope, unless you count the steaks in my freezer. He actually laughed. You know, the complaint was very specific. Said you had 15 dogs in cages in your basement. I don't even have a basement. This house is on a slab. Yeah, we figured it was probably false, but we have to check. Between you and me, the caller sounded intense. He left me with a case number and said they'd be marking this as a false report. Apparently, making false reports to animal control can result in fines. Good to know. Friday afternoon, I get served with papers, actual legal papers. Melody is suing me for illegal eviction and emotional distress. The amount she's asking for is insane. $50,000. For what? For changing the locks after she vandalized my property? For not converting to veganism? Her lawyer's letter was something else. According to them, I had created a hostile living environment through aggressive meat consumption, violated her rights as a tenant by changing the locks, caused severe emotional trauma by forcing her to witness animal consumption, and damaged her belongings. Apparently, she's claiming the cast iron pans were hers. But here's the beautiful thing. My lawyer, remember, I hired one after the grill incident, just laughed when he read it. She documented her voluntary departure via text, he said. She admitted to entering without permission and destroying your property. We have her on camera committing vandalism, and she never formally paid rent. Those $400 payments? No lease agreement means that was just her contributing to household expenses as a guest. So what do? We countersue, vandalism, destruction of property, trespassing, harassment. And we file for a restraining order while the legal stuff starts moving. Melody kept escalating. Saturday, a bunch of vegan activists showed up at my house with signs, meat is murder. Compassion over cruelty, and my personal favorite, animals deserve better than you. They set up on the sidewalk, public property, so legal, and just chanted for hours. My neighbors were not pleased. Mrs. Chen came out around hour 2 and started spraying them with her hose accidentally while watering her lawn. They eventually left when it started raining. Sunday was quiet. Too quiet. I should have known something was coming. Monday, I get to work and my boss calls me into his office. Someone had sent an anonymous email to our entire company directory. The subject line, do you know what kind of monster works for you? The email was unhinged. It detailed my crimes against animals, complete with photos of meat in my fridge. When did she take those? Screenshots of my grocery receipts from when we shared expenses, and a manifesto about how people like me were destroying the planet. My boss, thankfully, is a reasonable guy. I'm guessing this is from the ex you mentioned? Yeah. The one you have security footage of destroying your grill. That's the one. Okay, forward this to legal and HR. We'll handle it from our end and maybe consider that restraining order sooner rather than later. The thing is, my company takes harassment seriously, like, really seriously. Our legal team doesn't mess around. By end of day, they'd trace the email back to a coffee shop IP address and had already sent a cease and desist to Melody's last known addresses. Tuesday, the vegan protesters were back. But this time, I was ready. I'd invited my buddy Marcus over. Marcus runs a food truck, a barbecue food truck. He parked it legally, with all proper permits, right in front of my house and started serving free brisket samples. Special promotion, he called out. The smell of smoking meat filled the entire street. The protesters tried to keep chanting, but half the neighborhood came out for free. Mrs. Chen brought potato salad. The family across the street contributed beer. It turned into a block party. The protesters lasted about an hour before giving up. Hard to maintain outrage when everyone around you is having a great time and the smell of authentic Texas barbecue is making your mouth water. That night, I got a call from Harmony, Melody's sister. You need to stop this, she said without preamble. Stop what? Living my life? She's spiraling. This isn't like her. She was fine before you. Before I what? Refused to be controlled? Didn't immediately abandon my entire lifestyle because she demanded it? She's not eating. She's not sleeping. She's obsessed with saving you. Final update. She threw out all my steaks and said, "This is a vegan household now." I just nodded. The next day, I hosted a full meat barbecue for our parents. She didn't say a word as the smoke rolled in. I don't need saving. I need her to leave me alone. Can't you just pretend? Tell her you're going vegan. Get her to calm down, then figure it out later. Harmony, she destroyed my property. She's harassing me at work. She's sending protesters to my house. I'm not negotiating with terrorism. Terrorism? That's dramatic. Is it? She poured concrete in my grill. She ruined family heirlooms. She's trying to get me fired. Harmony sighed. The concrete was my idea. What? I mean, not concrete specifically, but I told her she needed to make a grand gesture. Show you how serious she was about this. I didn't think she'd actually. I thought she'd throw out your meat again or something. Are you serious right now? I'm trying to help. She's my sister. She just wants to make the world better, by force, by any means necessary. Animals are dying. I hung up. Then I called my lawyer and added Harmony to the list of people we needed restraining orders against. Wednesday, yesterday, was court day for the restraining order hearing. I showed up with my lawyer, a folder full of evidence, and a small hope this would all end. Melody showed up looking like she'd been living on green juice and rage. Her lawyer looked tired. The judge reviewed everything, the texts, the security footage, the destroyed property, the false reports to animal control, the harassment at work, the protesters at my house. "Miss Melody," the judge said after what felt like hours of testimony. "Do you have anything to say for yourself?" Melody stood up. I thought she'd apologize, maybe show some remorse. "Nope. Your Honor, he eats meat. He consumes the flesh of innocent beings. He's a murderer, and the law protects him instead of his victims. I was trying to save lives. I was trying to save his soul. I was." "That's enough," the judge cut her off. "Mr. Opp, I'm granting the restraining order. Miss Melody, you are to stay at least 500 feet away from the plaintiff, his home, and his place of work. You are not to contact him directly or indirectly. You are not to encourage others to contact or harass him. Any violation of this order will result in immediate arrest." Melody screamed. Actually screamed. "You're protecting a killer. You're all complicit. The blood is on your hands, the animals." The bailiff stepped forward. The judge threatened contempt. Her lawyer grabbed her arm and practically dragged her out. As we left the courthouse, my lawyer smiled. "That went well." "Did it?" "She seems more unhinged than ever." "Oh, definitely. But it's all on record now. If she violates the order, she goes to jail. Period." Last night, I grilled myself a victory steak. Just one, a nice ribeye, medium rare, with some grilled asparagus on the side. I ate it in peace in my house, without anyone trying to save my soul or liberate my dinner. This morning, I woke up to 47 missed calls from an unknown number. I didn't answer, but I did make bacon for breakfast. I'm hoping this is over. The restraining order is in place. Her lawsuit will almost certainly be thrown out. My countersuit is moving forward. Maybe now I can just live my life. But honestly, I doubt Melody's done. People like her, people who think they're saving the world, they don't stop just because a judge tells them to. So, I'm keeping the security cameras rolling. I'm documenting everything. And I'm buying a bigger freezer, because if she wants a war, I'll give her one. A delicious, medium rare war. Final update. Well, it's over. Not with a bang, but with paperwork and consequences. 2 days after the restraining order was granted, Melody violated it. Of course she did, but not in the way I expected. She didn't come to my house. She didn't send protesters. Instead, she went to my workplace. Not to confront me, she waited until I was in a meeting and broke into the company parking garage. Then, she slapped murderer stickers on every car in the lot. Not just mine, every single car, including the CEO's Tesla, the security chief's truck, and the mayor's car. He was there for a lunch meeting. She got through about 50 cars before security caught her. The stickers weren't normal bumper stickers, either. They were the industrial kind, the kind that don't come off without taking paint with them. I found out when my meeting ended, and security pulled me aside to watch the footage. There she was, caught in 4K, methodically going from car to car with a roller and these massive stickers. She was wearing all black like some sort of vegan ninja, but forgot to cover her face. The security chief was furious. You know what it's going to cost to fix all these cars? The CEO was less furious, more bemused. Is this the ex with the grill thing? Yeah. The one who sent that email about you being a monster. That's her. He actually laughed. Well, she's consistent. Melody was arrested on the spot. 50 counts of vandalism, 1 count of breaking and entering, 1 count of violating a restraining order. Because she'd hit government property, the mayor's car, it became a much bigger deal than she probably anticipated. I wasn't there for the arrest, but security showed me the footage later. She didn't go quietly. She gave a whole speech about animal liberation while being cuffed. Security looked deeply unimpressed. The story hit local news. Vegan activist arrested for vandalism spree at local tech company. They interviewed the mayor, who seemed more confused than anything. I drive an electric car, he said. I thought we were on the same side. The company sued her. The city sued her. Individual car owners sued her. I didn't have to do anything. She'd created her own avalanche of legal problems. But the real end came from an unexpected place. Remember how Melody worked as a graphic designer? Well, her company saw the news. They also received a copy of the unhinged email she'd sent to my entire office. They fired her for bringing the company into disrepute and exhibiting behavior incompatible with our values. Her sister Harmony called me one last time. She's lost everything, she said. Her job, her reputation, probably her freedom. Are you happy now? I didn't do this to her. She did this to herself, over meat. This is all over your stupid steaks. No, I corrected. This is all over her inability to accept that other people make different choices. I never asked her to eat meat. I never judged her choices. I just wanted to live my own life. There was a long pause. She's looking at jail time. I know. Real jail time. Like possibly years. I know. Can't you drop the charges? Tell them it was a misunderstanding. Harmony, I'm not pressing charges. The city is, the company is, the 50 people whose cars she destroyed are. This is way beyond me now. She hung up on me. The legal fallout was swift. Melody pleaded guilty to avoid a longer sentence. She got 18 months in jail, suspended to 6 months with good behavior, 3 years probation, mandatory counseling, $47,000 in restitution for the damaged cars, and a permanent criminal record. The restraining order was extended to 5 years. My lawyer also won the countersuit by default when she didn't show up to court, being in jail and all. I was awarded $33,500 for the destroyed grill, pans, and legal fees. I'll never see that money, but it's the principle. Last I heard, after serving her time, Melody moved back in with her parents in another state. Harmony unfriended me on all social media, but not before posting a long rant about the injustice of it all. Apparently, I'm still the villain in their story. My life? It's peaceful now. I bought that new grill and the smoker. I'm taking that butchery class next month. The neighbors still talk about the great block party of 2024. Mrs. Chen brings me cookies sometimes and tells me I deserve better than that crazy girl. I've started dating again. My Tinder profile now includes omnivore in big letters, just to be clear. Matched with a girl last week whose first message was, "Thank God you eat meat. Want to get Korean barbecue?" Yes. Yes, I do. Looking back, I sometimes wonder if I could have handled things differently. Maybe been more understanding when she first threw out my food. Maybe tried harder to find a compromise. But then I remember the concrete in my grill, the ruined cast iron, the attempt to destroy my career, the dozens of damaged cars. And I realized this was never about dietary choices. This was about control, about forcing someone to live by your rules through manipulation, destruction, and intimidation. I'm not proud of the barbecue party stunt. It was petty. But compared to everything that came after, it was nothing. To anyone dealing with a similar situation, document everything. Get a lawyer early. Don't negotiate with people who won't respect your boundaries. And never, ever let someone throw away your ribeyes. I'm keeping this account, but probably won't update again unless something major happens. Thanks to everyone who gave advice and support through this insanity. Time to go fire up the grill. I've got some lamb chops calling my name.